If you dig into the numbers, you guys all look at the total numbers. We didn't have enough production coming out of Sterling Heights. We were switching over to the heavy duty, so we were down in production on heavy duty. We had to prioritize where this volume of production was going to go to. So we chose the highest margin channel, U.S. retail. Not a surprise. Fleet is not where we make the most money. If you look at our first half results, Q1, sales to real customers in the United States up 16%. Second quarter will be up close to 40%. That's kind of a bullshit number, though, to be honest with you. It's probably more like 20-25%, and we're looking at a year-over-year comparison. It was dog shit last year. But at the end of the first half, we'll be up 25% in sales to real customers. Rental sales will be down 90%. So all that volume that we lost, when you look at the total number and say, hey, your sales are flat. No, they're not. Sales to real customers are up 25%. It's huge. Just didn't have enough cars to feed rental. Now, we will get back to that. When Sterling Heights is really humming, Saltillo's humming, and we got all the product, we'll get back to that. But in the first half, nobody's going to know this story. I mean, unless somebody in here is nice enough to write that story, nobody's going to know that. You also may not have noticed, last month we started very quietly testing out a new tagline. Nothing stops Ram. And you're going to find out today, every single thing that we're doing ties back to that tagline, and everything on the previous slide, all those product announcements also tie back to that perfectly. First one, most obvious one. When I came back with two things. First thing that I came back with, this one, no surprise. HEMI's back. This is not just a fancy logo for the side. The trucks will no longer say HEMI on the side. They will have this new badge on the side of every one of them, our symbol of protest. That's going to be on the side of every one of the trucks. And you heard from the sound, every truck now is going to come with what used to be the GT Sport exhaust. So the GT Sport exhaust is going to be on every 5.7 that we build. But, and this is extremely important, the 5.7 is not going to be our standard engine. The T6 Turbo will be our standard engine across the board. The T6 is more powerful, more fuel efficient, and more advanced than the HEMI. It just is. The SO and particularly the HO. So that will be the standard condition. You will then option up to the HEMI from there. It will be a $1,200 option above the SO.
Okay, so we are here at Stellantis Rams, the North American headquarters. And they revealed these two trucks, which from the outside may not look anything super special from what they currently offer, other than the fact that they now have this badging on the side, which indicates they've brought the HEMI back. So if you see that badging on the side, it means the truck's going to be equipped with a HEMI, and it sounds great because they're putting the sport exhaust system on every truck that actually has the HEMI. And I'll put a chart up on the screen to show you specifically what models of trucks will have the optional HEMI available. It's a $1,200 upgrade. One of the interesting questions, we had the CEO of Ram come up and talk to us, and I asked him a question about pricing. He had mentioned to another journalist that asked, you know, why the Classic has been removed, basically the Ram that had kind of the older body style on it, which was in the $40,000 price range. But the reality now is that they basically aren't profitable in that price range. I asked him specifically, why is it so difficult to hit $40,000? Why is it so difficult to offer a full-size crew cab truck completely stripped down at around that price? And he goes, we make no money off of it. He goes, it is not profitable. We cannot be sustainable like that. It is absolutely not an area we can play in until they release a mid-size truck. And they haven't given us any information on if or when that would be available, but he's clearly indicating that mid-size trucks would be what would hit that price point. But at this point, you're not going to see almost any truck, at least post-COVID, in a $40,000 price range, specifically like crew cab configurations. But these trucks will have a very, very similar HEMI to the HEMI that was no longer available for a while. It will have the eTorque system in it as well. Towing numbers, payload numbers should stay the same. But at the end of the day, a lot of people felt really kind of disenfranchised when Ram removed HEMI as an option. So the fact that they've brought it back, and they've brought it back in a pretty big way, is pretty awesome. And you know, after hearing from the leadership of Ram, their focus, it's very consumer focused. They understand what's at risk when you remove something so many people want, and how that can truly impact your market share, how that can impact what people expect of your brand. Now, again, whenever you look at these trucks, they're beautiful trucks. These both have the sport exhaust, and you can see that down here. They sound absolutely amazing. But yeah, a lot of announcements. So even though this is the one I'm sharing with you right now, guys, what do you think? That's pretty cool. I'm glad they're bringing HEMI back. Again, the focus they have on making a truck that absolutely is bringing back a characteristic people demand, that's pretty awesome. So they brought it back pretty quick too. And I heard there's a lot more involved than just slapping a HEMI in. They had to configure it to work with the new electronics in the vehicle that had been modified since taking the HEMI out of production. So getting that to work was originally going to be like 11 or 12 months just to make the engineering work. They were able to do it in 6 months. And that's pretty telling, considering, again, what the focus now is of Ram. And if you want a big V8, or at least you want a HEMI V8, you want that power, you want that sound, and you know, you're okay sacrificing a little bit of towing capacity, because this is not going to be the most powerful engine. Just like Ford with the Coyote V8 versus the EcoBoost V6, the V6 is the more powerful engine. It's the more fuel efficient towing heavy engine. The reality, though, is if you opt for the Coyote V8, you're doing it because you want the V8, and that's essentially what they've done here as well. But yep, that's the announcement. Sure hope you enjoyed the video. Again, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel so you can learn more about what's going on with Ram, especially with this new HEMI V8, or at least the comeback of the HEMI V8. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.